I can see clearly now the end of the road. I can see all vehicles in my way. Welcome back, puddling bitches. It is your friendly neighbourhood, full licence holding Pudmoto back with another waffle. Well, probably not a waffle, this one's... It's quite a nice one actually. Who knows? Can anyone at all guess what today's video is about? If you've looked at the title and clicked on the video and you already know, you've cheated. So, you don't count. Okay, good guess. Today, I quite fancy talking about my dream bike. Or should I say dream bikes from throughout my life. Because there's been phases, and I think I've entered a bit of another phase. And now my newfound legality in being able to buy one of these, it's, you know, spurred me on a little bit. Oh, noddage. The brethren, the brethren. So it spurred me on a little bit to maybe want to create this one. I'd love to buy one of these bikes at the minute, like for a second bike, but I do believe that they are probably... Some of them might not be too bad on price, could come within or near my budget, but the problem with them is probably your insurance is gonna absolutely lather you up, and it's not gonna be a great thing, the insurance, which I'm already finding out even with the step ups that I want, which have also had to be downgraded a touch due to budget and, you know, but that's fine because I can still get something fun, exciting, that's just a little bit older, because I do want to step up to at least a 600, 650, because then I don't feel like if I don't, I feel like I'm not even matching what I've just done my tests on, which I want to match. Anyway, so let's start with a brief synopsis on the life of me. Alright, not a brief synopsis on the life of me, but we're going to start earlier. In fact, we're going to start all the way back in probably about 2005, 2007, yeah, we'll say 07. So in 07, I was the ripe age of 10 years old. My love for biking was sort of sprouted early on through influence. Oh, go on then, son. Jesus, you can't just stop in the road, you toss end, just because you're indicating. Oh, now you're going to take his place. Great, nice. It was definitely sprouted through to influence from my father. So back in 07, my father owned a Suzuki GSR 600, which I think he absolutely loved, and I remember it vividly, and it was a lovely bike, and I didn't realise that those bikes back then had nearly 100 horsepower. I'm like, Jesus, for that now, like, you're looking at definitely bigger bucks than what were paid back then. Anyway, I remember being thrown on the back of it, and we went to a few. In fact, I think we went to one of my open days for high school on the back of that, and I felt like the coolest person in the world showing up on a motorbike to my open day. I was like, yeah, I'm walking around with a helmet in my hand and a bike jacket on. What are you gonna do? I'm cool. But anyway, at the same time, my granddad had a Honda Hornet, like a burnt orange one, it really nice. But my uncle also had a Kawasaki ZX6R, full black. Looked awesome. I also remember him crashing it. If you're watching, you'll remember that too. But I remember biking was very much a thing in the house and surrounding the family. And we went to bike racing, BSB mainly, you know, obviously in the UK, because it was an affordable option to get to. So obviously around the same time, I was like, oh, what bikes do I like? Bikes do I like? Favourite colour being blue at the time. So where did my mind instantly go? Anyone who loves the colour blue, where would your mind instantly go for a motorbike? Yes. So and this is like my all-time dream motorbike, is the Yamaha, the 2007 Yamaha R1 in blue with the gold wheels. that is just like, oh, that is, when I think biking, that's the bike that I think, and that's the bike I have always wanted. And now it's at a point where it's like, if I wanted one of them now, realistically, that's a 16-year-old bike. So it's pretty mad that now I'm at a stage where I realistically could go out and buy that thing, but obviously probably your maintenance and your insurance on that would just be way too expensive for me, so obviously I'm not going to. Moving on from the Yamaha R1, I don't know, I think I got hooked in by the old Italian mafia, in the shape of a bright red, yes, Ducati. I think anyone probably matures to the point where they go, oh, I think a Ducati's the goal now, you know. But I didn't go quite as big as everyone else, and at the time it was before the Panigale had just been released, like the first release, or it might have been around the time. The next bike I was sort of in love with, just because of the looks and it just looked awesome. Sounds as well, sounds even better. The 2010 Ducati 848. Now, I wasn't fussed for the 1098 or anything like that. The 848, just the size, the looks of it, the sleekness of it, it just looked incredible. And of course now they are also a very viable option if I wanted to take the step into like an older superbike type. Well, it's not superbike, is it? But would that class as a super sport? The 848 and the 1098 be the superbike version? I think that's probably what it'd be. I think you'd class an 848 as a middleweight, which is definitely not a litre bike, is it? Oh, that's some fat ass traffic. Oh, you know what term's coming. Filterage. Oh, look at that little gap that's just opened up beautifully for me. Let's go straight into that. Don't want to get killed by someone blooming pulling out though. Oh, look at that. Part of the Red Sea for me, baby. Up the outside of everyone. I can see clearly now the end of the road. Look at this cock end. I can see all vehicles in my way. So the 848 really was the next bike that properly curbed my interest. Just because, I mean, look at it. I don't think there's anyone who thinks that an 848 is ugly, you know, because they're not. Ah, now we're into bumhole territory. I'll have a look. Yeah. That frees up for me. Yes, boys! We're still in lane. We're not using the cycle lane. Trust me on that one. We're not. I swear. Whoa! Oh, look at that can, perfectly placed to kill me. Cheers! Oh, fizz. It says fizz. The sign, that is. Don't just think I'm weird. I am, but fine. We don't have to discuss that. So they're sort of my introduction to having dream bikes, per se. From then on, I always sort of just loved them bikes, and then it got to a point where it was like nostalgia, loving them bikes. And then my dad got rid of his bike, and then my uncle and granddad got rid of their bikes, and then we sort of went off biking a little bit. Well, we didn't go off biking, but we just went off riding. And then that leads me on to last year. So just before I got married, we went out for a final hurrah drink, did me, my dad and my brothers. And we were down on the other side of Bradford in a little village called Willesden. Hoo hoo. And a guy was at the pub we were out in a beer garden, and he had a Triumph Street Triple. And we were looking at it because we were on the bench next to it for ages. And then the guy came out and got on it. And I was like, oh man. And then he burned away and pretty much pulled a wheelie as he went away. Okay, I don't think he pulled a wheelie, but you get the gist. That's how cool it seemed. So I got married, went on the honeymoon, and then when I got back from the honeymoon, I was like, right, I think I'm ready to finally take that step. I'm in a financial position that I can. I think I should do the bike stuff. And my wife was like, yes, 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 you are doing it. So she was well supportive about it all. I sold the car. We had 2 cars at the time, so I sold the car that we owned. So it was like, we paid off the full wedding, and then boom, CBT time. And that's obviously what's led me to the position I'm in now. A full license bitch. That's me, the full license bitch. Now, from looking around bikes, from sitting on bikes, I've not grown up. I can assure you that I have really not grown up in my new desire for a motorbike. So from looking around, sitting, listening to, watching reviews, watching videos, my new requirement for a motorbike, I think it's a 2019 Honda, you know what I'm going to say, CBR 1000R Fireblade. But in a specific paint scheme though, with the gold wheels again. You see, I've not grown up at all, but I just think that bike is just awesome. It's beautiful, it sounds awesome. A Fireblade, I mean, that is just awesome. Nod, it didn't nod back, he just had a moody ass face. Not a brethren, not my brethren, not my champion. And that's sort of where I am at the minute, although I have matured to the point that my desire fluctuates at the minute. And if someone were to offer me the Ducati 848 for a good deal, I would go, yes, I'm going to bankrupt myself with your service costs and part prices. That's really it. Hey up, oh, that's what I'm thinking of now actually. That's nice. Alright, we'll see. Anyway, I'm excited to see what I can go for in the coming years. I mean, the next bike's not going to be 1,000. It's just not, because insurance would, like I said. But I'm 25. I've got my whole life ahead of me. The bikes that are going to come and go in my life could be some very exciting ones. And depending on financial situations in the future, maybe one day I'll be in a position where I can go, you know what, I've got my main bike, I've got my reliable bike, let's get that 07R1 and do it up. And so that's where I'm at with it. And yeah, once again, I'm coming to physio. It's totally unrelated, but I'm just basically telling you the route I'm on. But I hope you found that somewhat insightful. There's a geezer looking at my bike. Are you looking at the fact it has no L plates? Because I would be. I sure as hell would be. But for now, I once again bid you adieu. Whoa! And I almost flicked off my bike. Peace, buds.